Okay, you see, that was the problem. Let me tell you a story real quick. This is merely a testing broadcast from the Emergency Clarity Network. I wanted to get into the live stream. See, I want to be like the Chris Beckloff, you know. That's who. Oh, remember testing the. There we go. Got a little. It's all experimental. It's all experimental. So I wanted to perfect the art of getting this live stream down. Have a couple of call-in shows. Want to do the zero fucks given hour. This isn't even one of them, guys. This is not one of them. But I thought a little bit ago I'd get old DT from the Black Brigade at blackbrigade.org. I'd have him call in. We'd do a segment together. That way I wouldn't have to test this anymore. And so we hacked at it. Swear to God, I felt bad. I was taking at least, I took away not just a half an hour from him, but let this be a lesson to all of you power couples. You couples who have both working jobs because fuck your children. They were just there for you anyway. Let's ship off to daycare. It's not that he just lost half an hour of his time. It was dinner time. I say, oh, dude, I don't want to interrupt dinner time. So I took away half an hour from his wife, took away half an hour from Bert, took away half an hour from Ernie. He has 2 kids, Bert and Ernie, the girls. So we spent that much time, and I inconvenienced that family that much, only to find out that it was the browser. And I won't lie to you guys. I have to apologize. I was using Pale Moon for a browser because of the bullshit, not bullshit, the tyranny, the Nazism, the dictatorship, Mozilla with Firefox browser did to Brendan Ike. And so I went to Pale Moon, but Pale Moon started having troubles. And what I really rely on the browser on for more than anything else, because again, I'll point it out, a YouTube channel is not a podcast, is where I can install the extensions. I'll grant Mozilla this in Pale Moon, which is a clone of Firefox. You can download a lot of extensions and add-ons that will allow you to make your browser much more adaptable or what's the word? Robust. It's you could do many more things with it. You add on these add-ons. And the number one thing I use it for is downloading YouTube videos as a video file and then dumping that into my audio editor in Goldwave. And I can go ahead and listen to, quote, podcasts that way, but they're too lazy to set up an account on Libsys or SoundCloud. So I try, and then I'm like, you know what? I wonder if it's the browser. If you're ever having computer problems, I'm starting to learn this more and more. It's the browser. So Pale Moon started giving me guff, and I'm like, okay, I got to go to Firefox. So I switched back to Firefox. Yes, I was a lazy bastard. Yes, I'm a hypocrite. I at least never bought Starbucks. I'll tell you that. I didn't buy Starbucks coffee. And so all someone was having troubles. I'm like, what is going on? I'm wasting DT's time, wasting my own time, get my blood pressure up. I'm like, you know what? Just going to try Chrome. I know Google's no better. They're all leftists, guys. They're all leftists. The left has a monopoly on social media and internet technology. It's just the consequences of the superior strategy that the leftists and the socialists and the Democrats played of brainwashing. They got to the kids young. They got to them young. You had your like 1 month, maybe 3 months, if you were a good mother by today's standards with your child. Oh, now we ship it off to daycare. And that's where they get. What do you think there's early childhood education for? Why do you think they're trying to have a public preschool? What do you think they're aiming for? So they can get your kids earlier. And I'm not joking. I'm not even being tongue-in-cheek about it. I'm being deadly serious. The kids, the 30-somethings now who started up the Googles, the Facebook, the Twitter, they were all brought up not by their parents, but by the state. And they swallowed whole this leftist indoctrination bullshit. And whether or not they're geniuses doesn't have anything to do with it. That's their political ideology. That's their political philosophy. And these people went on to make great things, great services, great technologies. It just, and to this day, it confuses me how these billionaires, how these millionaires can just, well, I guess it doesn't confuse me. If you're that brainwashed, you believe all the hokum. You've never actually seen poor people. You just, I'm Steve Jobs and my dad's super rich. Wait, was he rich or was it? No, it was Bill Gates' dad who was rich. Hang on. Steve Jobs' dad. Steve Jobs. Let's do a little clarity test on Steve Jobs. Wikipedia, which I know is not the end all be all. Let's look at his dad. Oh my God, did the Wikipedia guys ejaculate all over his Wikipedia page? Parents. Oh, he's an adoptive father. Okay. Paul Ranhold's job. Grew up Calvinist, the son of an alcoholic. Lived on a farm in Germantown, Wisconsin. You got to be kidding me. I went to school there. But James Dean had tattoos. Steve Jobs' biological father, Abdul Fattah John Jindali, was born into a Muslim household and grew up in Homs, Syria. Jindali was the son of a self-made millionaire who did not go to college and a mother of a traditional housewife. While undergraduate and a student activist, spent time in jail for his political activities. Want to study law? So he sounds like the original proto-social justice warrior. We're talking about Jobs' father. He decided to study economics and political science. He pursued a PhD at the University of Wisconsin, where he met Joanne Carol Scheibel, a Catholic of a Swiss and German descent. Do people really care about your Catholic and Swiss descendancy? Who grew up on a farm in Wisconsin. As a doctoral candidate, he teaching assistant that the teacher she was taking, both were the same age. All right, just get to the point where he fucked her, impregnated her. It wasn't that he was Middle Eastern, so much, that he was Muslim, but there are a lot of Arabs in Michigan and Wisconsin, so it's not unusual. All right, fine. So she fell in love with the bad boy. The guy's a scumbag. He's a leftist socialist. Wouldn't it be funny? Here's the Steve Jobs' real dad, the biological father. Don't you think he's kind of like, oh, shit, I gave up the wrong kid for adoption? And what's this guy's name? Abdul Fattah? Aren't you kind of pissed off that he died young? You could have actually got that money. Because obviously he didn't give a shit about the kid. You know, it's... Oh, anyway, so the whole point. We got the Chrome working. Chrome is working because YouTube is Google. Google is YouTube. Chrome is YouTube. It's like the Trinity. There's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And Google is God, the Father. And then who would be Jesus Christ? Who's the Savior? That'd probably be YouTube, I guess. No, Chrome. Who's the good son? The Holy Ghost was always obscure. So obviously Google is God the Father. And then, yeah, Chrome would probably be Jesus Christ. And then YouTube is the Holy Ghost. They're all one and the same. And if you were a 3-year-old kid and you asked the simple question, I don't get it, and they say you're going to go and burn in hell because you didn't get it, well, then fuck you. You weren't a good Christian. So it's all working. It's Google. That's what we got. We got 50 viewers already. Welcome. 53. It just jumped up. If it just grew by 3 listeners per second, 57. We keep this up, guys. If we keep this up, it's up to 57 now. Oh, it went back down to 48. You bastards. If we kept that growth rate up, I would have been a billionaire by the end of the broadcast. Someone said to turn on the chat. So I have a chat stream here. If you want to come in and chat, please do. And I know this sounds like it's a broadcast. It's not. This is just merely a testing broadcast. I'll probably leave it up. Why the hell not? But people were yelling at me, oh, you gotta allow the podcast, you gotta allow comments. I'm like, I'm looking for the comments thing. I don't see anything. Here's the settings. Hang on, let's go into the group chat. All right. Because I'm not joking you. I know how YouTube works. I know how these internet people work. It's like, no, this isn't the chat screen they're talking about. There was another chat area they were talking about. Control room. No. All right, look, there's 45 of you. One of you, can you go in on the chat room? I don't know how you log in. I think you got to log in with a Google account. And then you can curse at me. Here's your free time to curse at me. Say whatever you want. All right, I'm going to go and look over here. I'm going to let you guys. I do have an article, though, by the way. We're going to get to that. Wait a minute. Hang on, I got it now. Chris Beckloff, where are you? You're my only hope. I'm going to find my own link to the URL. Twitter. Always looking myself up. Hey, look, I'm live now. Look at that. How exciting. This is going to be the greatest coup d'etat taking media from you baby boomer leftist fucks. I know I repeat myself, but it's so enjoyable knowing that this technology has just taken away all the power from you corrupt Dan Rather, fucking Anderson Cooper, fucking Trevor Noah. Everyone's talking about Trevor Noah and this blonde gal. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't care. The reason I don't care about this drama is, one, it's drama. Two, it's Trevor Noah. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He looked like just Jon Stewart version 3.0, because then we have Colbert version 2.0, and then Trevor Noah version 3.0. And then the person who he's having on is like some representative from millennials. And oh my gosh, what are the chances she's just a hot piece of ass? Buddy of mine was saying, well, she's actually pretty smart. I'm like, are you looking through your beer goggles? Have you, are you thinking, I mean, would someone be better than her? Millennial spokesperson for the, oh my gosh, please don't tell me it's so. What is the value? Come on, let's go. Here's the home. Where's the videos? Just bear with me, guys. No one ended up becoming a great ballroom dancer and 2 or 3 live events. Oh, here it is. Start Hangout on air. Is this it? Why isn't that showing? Copy link address. Testing live stream 950. That's about right. Okay. Let me tweet this out. I'll go back to the Google Hangout. Still no one's texted me. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. That's, watch me squirm. Any of you guys that follow me on Twitter, go there. Let me go on Twitter. I'll tweet this out. If you guys can contact me there, tell me what the hell the instructions are. There's no better way to do this. I apologize. There's really no other way to do this, because you can look it up. It says this, then do this, then do that. Well, you have to memorize all that. You got to troubleshoot it live. Kevin, that's my... I should have some music to play. Just stop asking. Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want that? Can you imagine if you're a girl and you're married to one of these IT nerds who program all the social media, always asking her if she wants shit she never wanted? Like, she just wants to, you know, she's trying to take a dump and he's like, do you want double ply or single ply? Do you want this? Do you want that? I know none of you IT nerds listen to this show because I'm conservative. I'm a white male. Why the fuck would you do that? And I'm only half joking about that. Go see what Brett White. Go look up on the interwebs. We'll do this for the podcast tomorrow. But go look up Brett White. He's a writer for the new Star Wars movie, and he literally came out and said, and I had to look it up and double take. I was like, okay, is this one of those fake news sites? Is this like right-wing news spinning it a little bit? I looked up, nope, there's the quote. This guy is basically, I wanted to write something that reflected America, and that is the struggling minorities headed up by a woman taking down, and I want to choose my words carefully because I want to make sure I quote what he said, taking down, not the empire, taking down a bunch of white supremacists or something like that. This is why I got to print it off, because then he said some tweets and all this other, and then it got no attention because you got to rely on us. We're the new media now. Makes you realize just how pathetic and sad the old media was that they actually did this job. You're kind of like, this, I got a life. I don't want to do this. It's not my job to babysit the country, but apparently someone's going to do it. All right, hang on. Oh, but I'm just saying, I can only imagine what that guy is like to his wife, if he's even married. That's yeah. I saw his picture. I'm like, oh no, you can just a hipster douche. He had a beard with the glasses and the bow tie. I mean, they're trying so hard to conform, and I'm trying to think, like, how bad is your writing? I mean, basically, all Star Wars is now, all it has become is they're regurgitating what the original guy, Steven Spielberg, was that him? Yeah, what Steven Spielberg did, but now they're just putting different clothes on different people. Yeah, it's still the evil empire, and yeah, here we go in with the X-Wings. But this one, it looks like they're just going to throw in this race lecture, kind of like that video that came out about We Will Rise or When We Rise. This guy has no creativity, none. I don't know how many writers you need. I mean, didn't it George Lucas? Was it Lucas? Lucas. I think it was George Lucas that did. Yeah. Didn't he write the whole thing for Star Wars? How many writers do you need? And the fact that this guy, I mean, purposely is imbuing the social, just copying and pasting the boring political propagandist script means you really got no other new plans. You're simply doing a remake. This is what, version 8, version 9 of Star Wars. We're so bored. We're literally just going back. Yeah, you know what? We better just start attacking the Death Star again. Oh my gosh, there's Darth Vader. I thought he was dead. Oh no, I guess not. No, we're just gonna have Darth Vader a million times over. And then what this guy brings to the table, what this genius brings to the table, is the new and never heard of. It's the evil white male empire that's keeping us down. Never heard that before. But once again, just like the IT guys out in the West Coast, just like over in Silicon Valley, the leftists got to him. They got to him young. He's white too. I'm sure he's a true believer. I'm sure he's a true believer. But if instead of spending what I would estimate to be 67% of his time getting indoctrinated and then regurgitating his indoctrination, if he instead spent that time sitting, contemplating, theorizing, coming up with a new idea, imagine what he could actually write. I'm not even questioning whether he's a good and talented writer. I'm questioning whether, I mean, he can write, but can he create? Can he come up with something witty or new? Or is it just the same slop? It is just the same slop. All right, hang on. Come on, Clary. Focus. Focus. Stop rambling. All right. Doing test live stream. Jump in and... no, I don't want to say hi. I want you guys to... I want to test this. Let's say questions. Send your questions in. Work. Who messaged me? Oh, it's my D&D guy. The DM just... I'm on Dungeons and Dragons. There tomorrow. No, it's not tomorrow. It feels like Friday. Saturday. All right. Out of the 57 of you, one of you must have known how to chat, which leads me to believe that I don't have the right chat screen up, because we need multiple chat screens. Screen share? No. Chat. Group chat. Do I have to invite people to chat? Here's an invite people. Okay, that's the URL. You know what? Let's see if the whole burn is in. Burn is kind of like one of those standard go-tos that they'd have back in the 70s on the Johnny Carson show. He'd always come in. Like, you know, from The Odd Couple. I guess I could look it up. Where'd Burn go? Here he is. Doing a test live stream. And I have a question about psychology. This would actually be an interesting... If I had a little bit more time and had no dead air, this might be more professional. But I did want to talk to Bern about psychology. I was starting to listen to some podcasts. Not really podcasts once again. Downloaded YouTube videos that I had to convert to MP3 because people are once again too lazy to get a SoundCloud account. It's scary what percent of even psychologists, the professionals, you know, the pros who are saying, yeah, it's all bullshit. No, it's not real. No, our correlation coefficients between, you know, actual success and treatment it's not even above 0.1. Oh, boo, boo, boo. You guys have something to do, go ahead and do it. There's nothing exciting that's going to be happening here. I'm not leaving until I get this chat room figured out. I'm not leaving. All right, we'll go to the other. The social media and let people know I'm here. I don't want anyone to listen to me. Me. What's this? What is it now? Facebook's just... Oh. No, you IT nerd. I don't want you to wipe my ass for me. I can type in my own passwords. Thank you very much. Where am I? I don't want to tell you where I am. What does it matter where I am? Discard post. No, don't discard. Go to post. Just post. Jesus Christ. Oh, these nerds. There was a time, let me tell you about the 90s. It was a great time where if you move the mouse pretty much anywhere on the screen, a pop-up menu, that was programmed, by the way, it wasn't spam, a pop-up menu would not pop up because the overeager nerds to predict your every wanton whim did not think, oh, you moved it over here. Does this mean this? Do you want here? Here's some options. I popped them up. Now you can't see your Excel spreadsheet anymore. And I really do wish I had like a version of like Excel 97 or whatever it was, whatever worked with Windows XP. I really wish I had that. And now it's the same thing. That you just can't touch the mouse without 40 different options coming up. Oh, Davis Zarini is around. Let's see if Davis is around. Hey. Do-do-do, do-do. Do-do-do, do-do. There's Davis. Cool. Coming in pretty soon. That'll tell me what to do. Davis will help me. Davis knows this YouTube internet's thing. I apologize. I know every one of you is yelling right now. You got to do this. Make it obvious. They never make it obvious. Only to them. Where the heck is Davis? He doesn't have a life. He should be on like the computer immediately. What is he, on a date? Davis, where the hell are you, man? Are you listening now? Don't be acting like you were doing something. Don't like, oh, hang on, sweetheart. I know we're about to consummate our relationship, but Clary just texted, and he needs somebody to help me or help him. All right, we don't need this. Internet Explorer crashed out. Ah, there he is. Yeah, he's he does hear us. I got a good zinger in on him over at the Beckloff. I was a guest at on the Beckloff. Oh, it was something like, this guy is just an unemployed loser, blah blah blah. Who's a virgin. I said, are we talking about Davis? And then that was the big Ed McMahon hi-oh. All right, we'll let that go over there. Maybe I should invite Chris. He knows what he's doing. Is he on? Chris doesn't have a life. Maybe he does. Maybe on Wednesdays he does have a life. Oh, wait, it's Thursday. Where the hell Chris is?
Hello, Captain Capitalism.
Jesus Christ, how are you?
I don't know if I can trust you. It says you're not in my circles. I don't know what a circle is, but if Google says you're not in my circles, I don't know. I should probably trust them.
I know what they do is brilliant. I know the programming and how they have to adapt, not only just for the technology and evolve with it.
Well, yeah, they need
and the changes.
They need to add a new gender to their search criteria every 3 months.
Well, and then the security, like, okay, this is, virgin technology is easily hackable. But you know what? They really ought to. Of course, they'll never hire asshole consulting, so I can just give this advice for free. And no, they're not going to follow it. If they had like these Justinian laws of simplification and went back and said, okay, where's the fat? What is going on? Why what can we do without, or what is completely unnecessary? It would really tighten things up a bit and make it a much better user experience.
Oh,
Did I lose you? Oh,
no, I'm just reading comments.
Well,
yeah,
where's
folks,
the
I did
comments?
release the. Okay, all right. First of all, just let me say, yes, I released the documentary. Go to my website, staresattheworld.com, and it's like right underneath my book on the left-hand sidebar. Matt Forney was hosting it because YouTube was trying to ban me at the time. Anyway, the comments. So
yeah, how do I find them?
Now, do you see the group chat window on the right side of the?
I see the group chat window. Yes, it's just you and me there.
All right, and you see the YouTube link I just posted.
I see that there. Yes.
Click that and make sure you mute it, because the.
Am I just watching myself? Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so everyone's commenting here.
Yes, the group chat in the Google Plus conversation is a secret group chat for the people in the conversation.
Okay.
Over on the YouTube video, you have the actual chat with everybody else that's actually watching.
Off to the right. Okay. All right. There it is. Hi, guys. All right. Yeah, I can say hi to all these. I got to open. I'm glad. You see, because why would you want to have that installed in the Hangout?
Oh, yeah, I know. Why would you? Why would you? Fun to have a second video playing with a 3-second delay?
Jesus. All right, let's go through. Look, I'm going to do my impersonation of a Beckloff. Let's see if we got some questions. Holy shit, there's like 100 comments already. Burn is Don Rickles. Having no degree as a young person between 18 to 28 will suffice. Unfortunately, you hit a proverbial wall. Even if Aaron, are you reading the chat feed? No, okay, let's scroll down. Virgin 100%. He's just projecting and pretending to be an alpha. As always, you guys figured me out.
He actually, the pictures of him on top of Angel's Landing, he took those with Roan, and then he just photoshopped them inside of them. I can tell from some of the pixels and having seen many shoots in my day.
Right. Well, it's just like the moon landings. Those are all photoshopped too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
None of it. Angel's Landing doesn't even exist. That's just a big conspiracy of the Trumpinator.
It's the Mormons, man. The Mormons are making that up to prove their Bible.
Oh, so okay. Do they all start attacking each other then? Basically, in the chat window, it looks like.
Yeah, this is pretty much how it goes. It's a healthy chat window that you got going.
Okay, but we're not even. It's literally like you got 3 ants to fight. No one is even paying attention to the stream. They're all just ripping each other apart. Oh, here, did Davis ever release the documentary? Yes, you did.
And given that I had to do all the animation and stuff, like, listen, I'm not an animator. I had to do that all myself. I don't even know how to do that, and I did it. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Yeah, mostly I was happy to get that bugbear off of my back.
Yeah, no, that I bet your psychological health improved dramatically compared to last year.
Oh man, you know what? I'm actually starting to get into a pretty good place. And in fact, the reason I'm drinking right now is because I've just spent the entire day working on I don't know, it's 50% philosophy, 50% apologetic, and 50% political treatise. That I think it's a little bit of a magnum opus of what I'm trying to get across to the world. Mm-hmm. It's called Great God Leviathan. And I think I think a lot of people out there will like it.
Well, how many?
It's that practical philosophy that actually makes sense.
Well, that's why I tuned in. I mean, now you didn't know this because I never told you, but once again, I had to go and I have to download your YouTube videos, convert them over to MP3 format, blah blah blah. But for a while, I got assigned to this security gig where I was just supposed to patrol until 4 a.m. and I would just binge on all the philosophy videos you put together. I'm not joking. I learned more from you in philosophy just from those YouTube videos than I ever have. Of course, I learned zero about philosophy because I never studied it. But how big of a tome is this going to be? Because some of your stuff is really deep. I mean, you don't exactly go, this is not philosophy 101. And I can only imagine if you're starting to weave politics, philosophy in the current day and the current man into this, this isn't going to be no 200-page pamphlet.
Oh yeah. And by the way, the Sarkeesian Effect was not my documentary, folks. Don't hold that one on me. Yeah, well, this is, you know what, man? I'll tell you the problem. First of all, I'm aiming for about, I think it's going to be about 50,000 words or so. Okay, so that's about like half a novel. So it's
okay. What how many pages? How many compared to As I Walk These Broken Roads? How much would that be?
50%. Broken Roads is 90,000 words, so it will be half as big as Broken Roads.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not writing like, you know what you were saying about Das Kapital is like 1,000 pages, and then there's like 30,000. That's bullshit. You do not need that much to explain the basic ideas. You know, if you're writing that many words, it's because you're hiding something. And quite frankly, I've been reading Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan, and the man is a terrible writer. The man is a terrible writer. I'm half tempted to read you one of the quotes that I put into my book, which it's shortened. I cut out 70% of the quote, and it's still an entire paragraph.
Wait, do we got someone else on now?
Hey,
we got
shitbirds are
we
here.
got Forney.
Forney's in
I'll
the
be right
house.
back. I gotta wake up my roommate.
Yeah.
All right, wake up your roommate.
To put the point to what Davis was saying, you know, Hobbes was basically just like a 17th century Goth, you know. You think of him as the 17th century version of like the Goths from South Park. Shit, it would be like you conformists. That's basically what his philosophy comes down to.
His book In Defense of the Church and Monarchy was the playbook for atheist cult, for communism, for all of the toxins, for social justice. All of it is right there in this allegedly conservative book that's in favor of traditional monarchs. and like, seriously, all he does is bitch about Catholics and Aristotle. It's pathetic. Anyway, be right back.
Oh, all right, because that's the impression I got. I did try to read Das Kapital, and it was like reading Ayn Rand. I'm sorry, I got 3 chapters into it. I'm like, I do not have the life expectancy to read through this garbage. I mean, I know Ayn Rand inevitably had a point, and there was like taking incremental, microscopic, or molassesly slow time to set up the story. But Das Kapital is just rambling. It was just rambling.
Both Marx and Engels were absolute shit writers. I remember reading the Communist Manifesto years ago. I mean, from a pure literary perspective, it's intolerable because Marx is so dry and fucking boring. And the Communist Manifesto is like, what, 50 pages? It could have been compressed into fucking 10 because, like all freaking leftists, he spends forever getting to the point, enamored with his own intelligence, never using one word when he can use 20.
Hey, weren't we talking about a documentary movie like that? Just no, never mind. I didn't say that.
Well, you guys would get a kick out of this. You guys ever hear of Talib Starks?
It rings a bell.
He wrote a book called The Uncivil War Between Black and Niggers, and the guy is black himself.
I like him already.
Very traditional. Well, yeah, very conservative. Even one of the few books I read and reviewed, and you guys know how much I hate reading. But he had a podcast, and he brought me on, and he hoodwinked us. He hoodwinked me and the other guests. He said, I'd like to have you on the show. He's under Anthony Camilla's Compound Media. So it's that kind of podcast station, I guess is what it would be called. So he's somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll be happy to come on. So I get onto the Skype stream, and there's this guy, he's got a little hammer and sickle symbol next to his name. I'm like, did he just pit me up against an actual communist? And I type in, looks like this is a setup. And sure enough, the poor sap on the other end didn't realize that Talib wasn't just inviting him over. He also brought in a capitalist that we were supposed to fight. The guy even put up like a Fight Club logo when the conversation commenced. And it is, you have to almost be religious and not in an intellectually honest sense. You have to really just be a true believer in this stuff. But the conversation we were trying to have, this guy was using pablum and verbosity that was completely unnecessary, and a lot of vocabulary specific to that. I'm sure only these true believers of communism, oh, we're on fourth stage communism, and it's like the 13th level of MGTOW with golden clusters. And after a while, I just had to sit back and like, okay, whatever. But yeah, there's no way you're going to get me to read. I think it was 610 pages for Das Kapital and 1,041 for the history of the Russian Revolution by Trotsky.
You know what? I am being very erudite, and I'm employing my diverse lexicon in this book. And yeah, I am a pretentious prig. I'm doing that, and yet it's readable. I promise you that this book is readable. Whereas when I'm going through Leviathan, I have notes as to what he's written on each page. And when I'm copying that quote onto my page, I have to reread the page on either side of that long-ass quote. I had to reread those like 3 times to make sure I'm not taking them out of context, because he is such an atrocious writer that you're not sure if he is affirming or denying the statement that he's making.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I have no problem using big words or your 50-cent words, as long as, and I think this is the only reason you would use them, is if they save using extra words down the road. Like in one word, they convey a concept that a normal vocabulary wouldn't. And I don't mind throwing in a couple words here and there in my books when I write them, not to inconvenience the reader, but like, look here, this really is the word because it describes exactly the concept. And like, oh yeah, I learned a new vocabulary. But when you try and fit it in there solely to make up for the fact that you're not smart, your ideas are bullshit, and even you don't believe them, that you want to try and talk over people. So it's like, fuck you. I don't have time for that. I went to college once. I don't need that bullshit again.
Well, and you know what? That's the thing. I have English second ESL speakers that read my stuff, and they understand it perfectly. Even though I am using the 50-cent words, I am using them in an appropriate context. Like, even if you've never heard the word before, you can figure out what it means.
Right. Contrast that. Do you guys ever watch Terrence Popp?
No.
You're kidding. You've never heard of Terrence Popp?
I've heard of him through you, but I don't think I've ever seen any
Oh, guys, you're totally missing out. I don't mean that like your mom recommending a book and then you're reading like, oh, this sucks. So you guys have got to go check, like tonight, go binge watch Terrence Popp, P-O-P-P, ex-military. No, I think he's still military. Sorry, still military. You guys remember tough man competitions in the 90s?
Like the strongman competitions where you like drag it up and whatnot?
No, this is where they're actually fighting. This is the predecessor to MMA and UFC. This was in the 90s. He was one of those guys. He fought in Tough Man. Then he went to Iraq. Wife took him for everything while he was gone, including the kids. And then he just said, I've had it. And then I use his YouTube. He's got like more subscribers than any of us. Great and a nice guy. He runs ads on my show, and if he's looking for sponsors too. So if you guys want to run ads on his thing, please do, because he's definitely like the exact market. But anyway,
believe me, I've got an advertising plan with this book, man.
Cool. Well, I'll run it on the old caposphere here. But he got a hate letter from a women's studies professor, and so he's reading it, and she said, "You're nothing but a misogynist," and she said, "sycophant." So he had to go look it up, and I even knew the word sycophant. I'm like,
that's not what a sycophant is.
That's not what a sycophant is. She's trying to use it as a pejorative, but it's like, no, you're like this lackey follower fangirl, and it's like, well, who would he be the sycophant to? So these are PhDs just grabbing for whatever words, throwing it in, and it's the completely wrong word.
Clary, there's the first chapter. I rip apart how broken the humanities is. And then I rip apart how broken the STEM fields are, because they fail to live up to the medieval standards of education where people were actually smart and they accomplished things.
If you can pull that off in just 50,000 words. So basically a 100-page book.
Yeah, 150.
That's going to...
No, seriously.
You know what? I bet you it comes in. I bet you it comes in over 200. I don't think you're going to be able to tackle a subject... And there's not going to be any fat. I understand this is going to be a lean book. You're going to be succinct and very precise.
Yes,
but I think that's still going to run over 200 pages.
I'm going to get people to review it to make sure that I'm not skimming too quickly over things. Like, I don't want to have to explain the Hegelian dialectic in detail. Like, it's fairly self-explanatory in my opinion. So I devote like 2 sentences to that. But no, it's like all of the scientific accomplishments that we've had over the past 200 years. These have just been the momentum that was developed during the medieval era. And right now, like, we are getting to the point where scientists are the most useless tits in the world. Unless if you're a genius entrepreneur like Bill Gates or Apple guy or the scam artist that owns Tesla Motors. Unless you're one of these geniuses that can take these stupid autists and say, go do X right now, nothing's happening. You know, we get climate change science and gender theory out of STEM.
Well, and then also, I mean, it's starting to show in the GDP figures. I mean, our economic growth has been slowing for the past since the 50s, so the past 60 years or so. It peaked out in like the early 60s. And it's just been on a slow, steady decline. And I ran the figures before, but man, I just wonder if we just kept that up. That technological advancement. And maybe we need a world war that threatens everybody's lives so they get off their ass and start doing, like, oh, wow, we got to really try. Hey, let's develop nuclear weapons in about a year. Okay, there, boom, we did it. But without that threat or that incentive, I just don't see any, hey, we got an even higher definition Samsung phone. And now we have another app that always constantly asks me what I want to fucking do.
They're refinements. I mean, we had the nuclear program, the space program, and the internet, and way before that we had radio frequency communications, RF, which is cell phones. Cell phones are just like an elaborate version of a radio. I guess there's quantum computing now, but I don't want to say there's no innovation, but it's very narrow-minded. It's very like narrowly focused. How can we make this processor faster? As opposed to like, let's get rid of this idiotic, dark matter theory. Like, sorry, string theory is crap if it requires dark matter. You idiots.
I'm just kind of also amazed, like, talking of stagnation and innovation. Did we go through like a good 100 years where we're like knocking out viruses and polio and getting vaccines left and right? And what I think the most promising thing I saw, and it's promising, it's not a vaccine. It's like, oh, we cured cancer, we cured polio. It's they learned to treat prostate cancer with testosterone. They thought it was bad, but then they flooded this guy's prostate with testosterone, and the tumor started to shrink. That's good news I've heard, but I don't think they've cured anything in my entire lifetime. I don't think there's been a cure for anything in the past 40 years. Treatments, sure, treatments up the wazoo, but no cures.
Well, and we've got problems developing that are completely and utterly predictable, like the superbugs, the STDs that are med resistant nowadays. This is entirely predictable. We knew this was going to happen. But instead of anybody doing anything to stop these superbugs from developing, it's like, we need to find a treatment for grids, something we can sell to people. We are rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, and except the Titanic wasn't even crashing. Okay, like it's instead of steering the stupid boat, we were rearranging deck chairs. Don't mind me, I'm just drunk and ornery right now.
That's worth bringing this up. Basically, today is World AIDS Day. I'm celebrating World AIDS Day by not being a drug addicted sodomite.
Is it World AIDS Day?
It is World AIDS Day.
I can't keep up with them anymore because, frankly, I don't give a fuck.
Man, I had AIDS once. That was the worst week of my life.
The only reason I was reminded of it was because I was walking back from getting dinner and groceries, and I walked past a bus stop here in Rogers Park, and there's an AIDS ad on the side of the bus stop featuring a I posted it on Facebook and Gab. I can't tell what the fuck this is supposed to be. Man, woman, in between, talking about how, oh, my viral loads are lower. My age is undetectable now. Like, yep.
AIDS is almost impossible
hang on. We got a rookie. RJ, are you like rubbing a comb against the microphone or something, or what?
I just plugged in my headphones to I plugged my headphones into the mic originally because there's a headphone port on that, but then I realized that the sound was coming out of the computer. Is it fine now, or is it still?
Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, I correct, not that you would know this, of course, because this is the only sort of maybe beginning proto live stream, but like, not going to squeak. Ann Sturzinger is not going to be cutting cabbage in the background. I was listening to Bernard Chapin's podcast the other day. Somebody lives next to a train station. Like, no, we're all using our mute buttons. So
and I'm going to hit the mute button every time there's a fucking cop chase nearby.
Well,
you
yeah,
don't
you
want to
can't
hear the
control
Space
that.
Dog victory, the Space Dog battle cry?
No, not yet. We'll do that when we sign out. So anyway, all right, you guys, I don't get to talk to RJ much. Let me get him in. This is the kind gentleman who let me crash with him out in California, so I still didn't have to pay a dime in lodging. How you doing there, kid?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, doing fine. You still living with your cousin there?
No, he bought a house.
He bought a house. He wasn't even graduating from college yet.
Yeah, well, it's not so much that he bought a house. His rich old man bought a house, but you know they've got a whole plan set up so that California doesn't take all their money as it transitions from dad to son in the coming years.
So this is more estate planning than
yeah.
Okay, smart idea. Smart. Does this idea ever involve you guys getting the fuck out of California, or is that idea not yet imbued itself into your mind?
For me, it definitely is. For him, with the empire they have built, it's not really an option. The McDonald's Corporation requires that owner-operators live within at least a 2-hour drive from any stores they own.
So like 3 blocks in LA.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, he moved south to Mission Viejo, which is like, I don't know, you drove past it on your road past it rather on your way up. And it's far enough away from my family and stuff. I moved home. So
okay, so you're not where I visited you beforehand. You moved out?
No, yeah, I moved out, but I definitely get to go, utilize that place and anywhere else that my rich cousin owns whenever I like. So it definitely didn't lose on the deal. But
yeah, it's good to know rich people. I mean, if I had the choice between knowing like a rich asshole who's a total prick and Davis Arini, I would totally go with the rich asshole and the prick. It's just well, good. Well, I'm glad
I think that joke was lost on him because I think he's out smoking a cigarette.
God damn it! Did he miss another awesome joke of mine at his expense?
Yeah, I saw a little chat bubble pop up next to his name that said he's out smoking.
I've been here the whole time. You could have made a joke at my expense.
Well, I could but RJ didn't set me up for it. If RJ, give me like a Mr. Clean or a fucking Bull from Night Court. Well, you don't even know who Bull from Night Court is. Never mind.
Is that because he's bald?
Yeah, it's because he's bald. I'm just grasping at straws now. It's really hard to cut a joke at somebody's expense when you're trying. It just naturally comes like manna from heaven. So anyway, you're still. What's the plan then? You're going to get out of California once you graduate, or what?
I'm not sure yet. It really all depends on how everything goes with relationships. And the reason I say that is California is kind of something, specifically Orange County, that I don't want to give up, not because the culture here is great or anything stupid like that, but just the property value alone is insane, and it's only going to get better. And so my dad and I talk about it a lot because between all the members of my family, we've got quite a bit of property. And at some point, it's all going to be mine. But in the meantime, I've got to live. And eventually I'd like to get married and stuff like that. And so with that said, what does that look like for me, given that these people that own properties that are going to give them to me aren't dead yet, and I can't just go around killing them off to take their houses. So I'm not sure. It kind of all depends. I've got a pretty solid girlfriend right now, and she's a bit younger than me, so it's not looking like anything.
12? You're like all of 17 or 18. What do you mean a bit younger than you?
Well, I'm 20. I'll be 21 in May, and she'll be 20 next year, November. She just turned 19.
How is that significantly younger than you? What?
Well, it's not, but you got to realize she's a little bit. She's very, very right leaning, very the same mindset as me, but there still is kind of that idea that's been ingrained in our, because of schooling and everything. I feel like she still kind of thinks, well, you know, I'm only 19, like I got to take my time and go to school and enjoy young life before I commit to anything serious, which, you know, whatever, I'm not pressuring her or anything. But so anyways, it's just one of those things where I'm not sure. It all depends on where I'm at in the next few years. If something falls through with her and it's not looking good around here and my parents are like, get the hell out of the house, I'll be out. I'll go to Arizona or something. But also jobs too, you know, it all depends on where I end up working.
Boy, I'd tell you, man, I'd start setting up a life else like Phoenix or Vegas or something, someplace where the traffic, I remember. I mean, I even looked, and I thought about this more and more, but I was like looking at the traffic because I was really bored. I was tentatively going to stay here. The GF has left for the week, and so I'm kind of like, I'm going to bachelor it up. I'm bored out of my mind, so let's think about driving. And I just went, let's see what, you know, San Francisco, LA, and San Diego traffic. I'm like, good freaking Lord. And I'm like, that's the price you guys pay for your social welfare state, is the fact that they didn't build any freaking roads. All that money that should have gone to roads and helped make it so you guys could live a lot easier went to feed the mouths of a bunch of parasites, so they spit out more parasites. And now you all get to sit in this red. It wasn't even red. I wish it was red. It was all like maroon, almost black when you look at the color coding on Google Maps.
Yes.
And when you said it took you 2 hours to get to work, I'm like, there it is. That's the price. You know, you pay your taxes. You pay 2 hours of your free time every day to go and sit in these inadequate roads.
Yeah, you never get used to it. And it's funny that you say that. Even with never getting used to the traffic, that's not the thing that drives me out so much. You look at I don't know if you pay attention at all because it's not your state, but some of the gun stuff that's going on here. I mean, it's insane. We've got a neighbor down the street from my parents, and he just put in a huge gun safe, and he's got all of his rifles and stuff in there. He's super into it. I mean, he does all of his own ammo, mixes powders and everything. And so me and my dad were over there last night just talking with him, and he was kind of running us through all the stuff, and it's getting horrible. I mean, they're to the point now where they want you registering 80%ers, just putting numbers on the lowers of an AR-15 rifle that people do themselves. And it sounds so crazy to people outside the state, but it's like, we have 10 rounds. Now they want the upper and the lower to have to come apart before you can remove the magazine in the AR-15 rifle. So that kind of stuff, that's what worries me. Is it just like, those are kind of things that I like to enjoy, and I hope to be able to, enjoy with my kids maybe one day and stuff like that. And it's going to be like, I don't know, is it going to get worse? Where do they draw the line?
It's going to get, you're going to have to get out. I mean, I'm not joking. I know, seriously, it's the frog in the hot boiling pot. That's what you are, man. I mean, I understand, get your education, whatever else, fine. But God almighty, I mean, especially before you have a family, you got to get your kids out. You got to get yourself out. You got to get your wife out. But, and plus, I mean, you've been there all your life. I don't know. I mean, check out Vegas. That's a fun as hell place. Even Phoenix is better than that. But there's just no reason for any self-respecting person to stay in California.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's one of those things we talk about all the time. The family's looking at property, and I think I'll probably, once the grandparents die, then it'll be like, all right, let's all get the hell out of here. Just rent our stuff out.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, my visit to LA about a couple months ago, it's like LA doesn't even remind me of the U.S. anymore. It reminds me more of Manila than any American city. And to sort of give a point to Clary's comment on bad traffic in California, a lot of that's due to not just the lack of public transportation, but also to the way public transportation is perceived. Like when I went to L.A., I was like, I won't rent a car. I'll just take the light rail and the subway because they've got a nice system. But then I very quickly realized that the only people who take a light rail or subway in L.A. are people who can't afford to own a car or are legally barred from owning a car. So you get to basically share these really nice light rail trams and subway cars with basically the refuse of LA society.
Yeah,
so,
that's correct. Yeah,
Hey, when are you heading out to Bulgaria there, Matt?
Wait, is this like a deliberate like fucking joke now? It's Hungary, and
No, I just don't pay attention.
it's at the end of the month.
And it is Bulgaria, not
No, it's Hungary.
Hungary. Going to Hungary.
I may actually visit Bulgaria while I'm over there, and I'm going to report back. Yeah, it's the West Virginia of Eastern Europe, like what everyone said it was.
Okay, well, don't get angry if I ask you where you're going again, because I'll just remember Hungary. You're hungry for women. You're in Hungary. Okay, I'll get that.
I'm just amused why you always pick Bulgaria and not like Poland or Slovakia or Romania. Like, why Bulgaria?
I bet you at one time, this probably harkens back almost 20 years ago, when I was a sovereign risk analyst. I covered different economies and countries. And this was after the fall of the Soviet Empire and all that. And they're kind of getting back on their feet. So they're starting to watch. And this is when economic growth were actually starting to go through the roof. They were starting to have their growth spurts again. And I think it was like Bulgaria and Hungary had similar demographics or economics, and I've just always remembered them synonymously. I know Romania was different because it was Rome. Czechoslovakia, because they got all hoity-toity and we're the Czech Republic now. Poland, because of all the Polish jokes. And if any economist tells you any different, they're lying. That's how you kind of remember. Oh yeah, that's that country. That's that country.
I guess that makes sense. Well, yeah, Czechoslovakia went upscale real quickly. Like Prague is basically Prague in the 90s was a hub for every shitlib pretentious artist ever who read that god awful book, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and went to move there to be a great artiste. And to this day, it's basically the most westernized part of Eastern Europe. So, yeah, and the Polish jokes, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Hungary's kind of like a middle of the. It's a pretty remarkable country, but it seems to get forgotten pretty easily. I mean, for whatever reason.
Okay, we got someone in the chat room that said Jason Unraha. This is the guy that I had the debate with on Talib Stark's show. I don't know if you're really, I mean, just go ahead and check him out. It's spelled Jason R-U-H-E, Unruhi. Oh, and he's got here he is. He's got he pilfered the show. You have to usually pay for a paywall, but like a good communist, he just stole it. So,
by the way, you can access that show by going to captaincapitalism.blogspot.com. Yeah, I just noticed the link when I was outside.
It's not on my show. It's not on my site.
Yeah, it is. He said I'm about to have be on the Talib show.
Right. But if you go to that site, you got to pay to actually watch the show. Which to me is the weirdest business model, because like, well, I thought you wanted people to watch your show, but I know you got like the charge to view. It just doesn't make sense. But I you know what? I'm not even gonna, because I'm afraid that if I click play, it's gonna throw off the rest of this. All right, let's go through the rest here. Matt is always going to Bulgaria. Starks got ejected. Tribe Called Quest.
Joe Johnson is so lonely that he's here to hate Matt Forney.
Who's Joe Johnson?
He's some loser that just keeps ranting about Matt Forney. He only showed up to talk about how much he hates Matt Forney.
Only one person does? What?
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to get in line for that.
This is not
get in line between the 8 million other stalkers and homosexual losers.
Yeah, this is not like the Beckloff. This is basically just, it sounds like a Halo game online with the 12 and 14-year-olds cursing and swearing at each other, calling each other fucktards and faggots. So like,
if you read all of his comments with the whiny voice, they make a lot more sense. I am sure he has no useful skills. Keep posting, Joe.
Jesus Christ. I fucked your mom. You fucked me. Okay, yeah, see it. Yeah. How does Matt keep it clear? Not Matt. How does Chris keep it clean when he gets his questions coming in here?
Liberal use of the banhammer.
Banhammer?
Yeah, you do. I think you basically just let me look at the chat.
Oh, I think again. I got blocked him. No, I can't. Not in operation. Because I don't want to report them. There's nothing wrong with. They've done nothing wrong.
There should be an option like next to his comments to like like some kind of menu. You click that, and there's like, block user or ban user.
Yeah,
or
there's
something like
remove, but then you could still comment. You could report profile image. I don't want to report him because he hasn't done anything really. Just report message. No, because he'll just make a billion more. Block user. Put
That's
user
it.
in
That's
timeout.
block-
Oh, hey,
block
put user
user.
in timeout.
Block user is the
Yes.
one you want.
Go back
If you
to
want-
Twitter, Johnson.
There we go. No, but what if that blocks him from YouTube? Like it gets a strike.
No,
against him?
it only
does.
blocks on your channel. Basically, he
Oh,
can't
okay.
comment. He can't spread any poison. It just shuts him up.
I put him in the
Although-
timeout.
God, I love the mute button on Twitter though, because see, like the one thing I regret is when you ban somebody, they get the satisfaction of being banned. I absolutely love muting people, and then they tweet BS at me, and I just don't respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, Gab has the same thing going on, but they actually upgraded the system because if you mute someone, I think not only do you not see their stuff, no one who's following you, I think, sees their stuff. You can't find it in search. So there's really no satisfaction to be had from trolling on Gab. Basically, someone will just put your name in the mute section, and you'll just be screaming into the void, getting no response. The other thing, too, is that Gab has an upvote, downvote system, meaning that if someone posts something stupid or offensive or retarded and people see it, they'll just downvote it, and they're actually using it as advertised. I have a couple of persistent trolls after me on Gab, but every time they post on something, which I don't see because I have it muted, it always ends up downvoted by like 5 points or 10 points or whatever. So right now, Gab is a pretty, that's sort of the joke here. Insofar as online harassment actually exists, the Gab approach, the free speech approach, will do more to kill it than what Twitter is doing, which is basically banning everyone to the right of Karl Marx.
I really like that. Like, let's be frank. There is an issue. It's just a really, really minor issue. Okay, it's not like I'm staying up at night and crying about this, but you don't walk up to somebody on the street and say, "Hey, stupid! Look at this meme." Like, you just don't. That's uncivilized. That's unproductive. That's not how human beings are supposed to behave, and there is a bit of an issue with that. So, like, what Gab's doing does seem like an effective solution to that. I mean, like, right now, that's the battlefield as it is, and I'm not whining or complaining about it, but I would like to see a higher level of discourse than, "Hey, stupid! You're stupid."
Is this on Gab? Like, does Gab now have the trolls? I mean, inevitably was going to get infiltrated, but I mean,
Gab has a few trolls, but not like many, because right now the wait list and everything else is like a huge barrier to entry. But so Twitter's a way more target-rich environment. If you want to basically piss off shit libs, Twitter's the place to go. Gab is basically right now a hub for the right wing, more or less.
Okay. I sent an invite to Florian. Florian, check your Twitter because I had a question for you I wanted to ask. I was listening to Burns' live stream. And I won't lie to you, I was like, holy shit, Burns is doing live stream? I better get on my ass because that troglodyte, what were the guys who disavowed technology because it cost them jobs? Luddites. That Luddite, if he can do a live stream, Jesus Christ.
Well, he had to be not to bash him. He's a great guy, but I had to help him a bit with the early live streams. I don't understand why everyone seems to have a problem with it. Like when I do a live stream, I just go to the YouTube panel and I start one up. And he claimed there was like codecs and such or whatever. I'm not sure what's going on.
No, it's standard trouble. You've had a lucky experience because John Steele, Beckloff, and now myself had issues, and certainly Byrne did too. With and Davis, they keep changing the format. They keep changing. We're going to do it this way. Oh, now we're going to change it this way, and it's nothing intuitive or logical.
Well, it's counterintuitive. You go to stream live event. That's how you set up something that you're not doing right now. And then you go to the other button, which isn't live event, and that's how you do something right now. It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah, I just, whenever I want to do a live stream off the top of my whatever, I'll just schedule it for like a half hour in the future. That's usually how long it takes for me to get together everyone anyway. And that's I never found it to be that difficult. The only time I ever had a problem with a live stream was when I did the election eve telethon, but that had nothing to do with me. The thing just decided to randomly stop working on me all of a sudden, so I had to start up a second stream.
Is that Florian here? Is that you? Hello, who we got here?
That is
Florian.
It is Florian. I just don't hear him or see him.
Does anybody else think of Klaus the fish from American Dad when you hear Florian talk? Does anyone know who I'm talking about? American Dad?
I don't think I've heard Florian speak.
He's German. Klaus, you've never seen American Dad?
We'll be able to tell you once we hear him talking.
If he gets it on.
I've never seen American Dad because if I really wanted to kill IQ points, I'd go for the direct route of smashing my skull in with a hammer.
He must be on Bavarian time, which I think is an inside German joke. Are all very late.
Technical
Well,
difficulties because now he's gone.
I see him there. Oh, there he went. He went away. I heard his feelings with the anti-German propaganda. And I did have a question for him. I could always do it on the next live stream. But him and Byrne, I got to get in on the show because, he's trying to reconnect, he says. Him and Byrne, I want to get on the show because I have all these ideas, really good ideas, profitable ideas, but I don't have the skills and the talent. And then Byrne has it.
Joe Johnson is still shitting up the comments, eh?
What?
By the way, Sinead McCarthy is a mud shark, and Renegade Broadcasting believes in the flat Earth theory.
Hang on, who is a mud shark? What's a mud shark?
I'm responding to comments in the chat. They're talking about Renegade Broadcasting and Sinead McCarthy. Basically, she attacks the entire alt-right and basically the right wing for being degenerate or stupid or whatever. Like in her mind, I'm an evil bastard because I rape and beat women, which would put her as actionable libel if we lived in a country with decent libel laws. But for all her pretensions of being a neo-Nazi pure white, whatever, she used to and probably still does sleep with a lot of black men. She also sincerely believes that the Earth is flat and that the round Earth theory was a Jewish conspiracy to trick the Goyim.
Is this kind of like Tequila Tanya or Tequila?
Speaking of which, completely forget all the drama from last week. I'm still harping on this. What the hell was Tila Tequila doing there in the first place? Forget all the drama. I just hate Tila Tequila. I've hated her ever since the Tucker Max message board days when Kung Fu Mike really liked her.
What?
Oh yeah, that's the first time I heard. I have seriously no idea who she is. I learned more about her on the Becklot stream, finding out that she did porn. But Kung Fu Mike loved her. She was always being mentioned on the Tucker Max message board. I've always hated her. She's a stupid, useless attention whore.
Well, her old shtick was back around 2005 or so. She was the queen of MySpace, and MTV gave her the bisexual-themed dating reality show, Tila Tequila Shot at Love. Then she became a rapper and failed at that. Then she basically, there was an incident where she performed for at the Gathering of the Juggalos and got pelted with a shit ton of she nearly got fucking lynched by them. Then she did porn, and then all of a sudden, like a couple of years ago, she suddenly started becoming a kitchen Nazi and shit. I think
she was also Flat Earth for a while.
Basically, she's been on every. She's the town doorknob. And
okay, hold it. Someone's got their YouTube channel. Check your audio, guys. We're getting an echo here.
We got Florian.
Florian's here.
I'm here.
All right, good. Florian, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Doing well.
Good. I was listening to you on Burns live stream, one of them, and you were telling him, with all the other people on the live stream, about how you weren't always conservative or libertarian. You were at once a leftist.
I was, yeah.
And I'm trying to, and then you were explaining how you kind of got out of it and slowly made your way to the political ideology you have now. How the heck did you even get to be a leftist in the first place? I mean, was the indoctrination that hard? And then how the heck did you get out of it?
Yeah, so when I came from Germany to the US, right? And I was in Germany. Germany is very leftist oriented, right? And my mother, my father, they were like baby boomer generation, and so I got quite some leftist indoctrination. But I always thought there's something extra to more conservative positions, and I always kept that in mind. And I think the biggest step towards becoming conservative was when I discovered game, like around 2012, something like that.
So this is recent. This is a recent evolution.
Right, it's a recent evolution, and then actually, then I realized like the real world doesn't hold up to the fantasy world of the leftists. Then I also remembered back, like then I was a little bit stronger attached to the friends I had that were more conservative, right? So basically, then something that was already there philosophically took me back. I just needed more time to embrace it. I think that's what that was.
Because I'm looking forward, and you know, I'm not putting my money on the long-term survival of Western civilization. And I always find it interesting, the story of how someone went from leftist, which I cannot, because I was always sworn enemy of my teachers. I never trusted authority. Of course, it could be maybe having something to do with being a preacher's kid. I don't know. But Calvin and Hobbes. Yes, the teacher is the enemy. The teachers are boring. I want to go out and play. And no one has given me simple rationalizations and reasons as to why I have to be there. And if these adults can't do that, you know, I don't trust them. And I didn't even think about politics back at that age, but I knew not to trust adults. And so I'm just amazed at the high percentage of children that then become adults and then well into their 20s critically claim to be independent minded, coming out spewing this stuff, this indoctrination. And so that's one thing I can't understand. But then it's like, all right, how do you get in there and unplug them from the matrix? And so I'm always kind of curious as to a story, but it sounded like there was always an element of intellectual honesty, or there was a moral fiber within you that wanted to find out things for yourself inevitably.
Yeah, there was always like an openness, right? I always thought to myself that, I mean, you don't agree with more conservatives earlier in my life, but I never want to dismiss them, because I regard friends, right? I don't really care about political positions, right? It's just an ideology. At one point, leftism was there, and I could embrace friends still. And I think now that I went out in the real world and saw how things really are, conservative makes much more sense to me. So I think keeping an open mind, that was one thing. And also my father's actually a reverend too, but my parents got divorced when I was 2 or 3 years old, and I grew up without a father, basically, apart from the visiting weekends. And so I was always looking for authority figures. And I think that also led to me like being a little bit more open toward more conservative positions. And you know, I just
also led to that crazy hippie haircut you got.
Say again?
I said it also led to you having that crazy hippie haircut you got without your dad being around. That just
yeah, that's true. It's sounding like Klaus the fish. I have to check that out now. American Dad. Yeah, but yeah, it's actually a good point. I'm asking myself that, but it seems so logic to be not on the. I mean, the left seems so illogic now. It seems to all make sense to be on the right and be red-pilled and all. But ultimately, people are just people to me. I mean, people are friends to me, right? So I don't care too much about political affiliation when I talk to people directly, except for that you really can't talk much to leftists, because I know they have their ideology and they're really like jammed close in there, completely how you say, like on the Titanic, like these doors that close and never open, you know, totally closed off to the outside, for lack of a better word. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I've learned quickly to assess very quickly whether or not someone's capable of, quote, a friend, but more of an acquaintance. And when Castro died, I'm glad this tyrant died, and you know, this and that. I'm like, wait a minute, you were all for Bernie Sanders. And she's like, well, they're not the same. I'm like, yes, they are. And then my buddy Silvio, who escaped communist Cuba, says, yes, they are. And it after a while, you know, one or two times you bang your head against the wall and you say, I don't need to hurt myself again.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. I do not hear the Claus things at all. He's got I don't know if it's like a northern or southern German thing, but he clearly has an accent from the different part of the country that's far more mellow and laid back and earthy. Whereas Claus is all energetic and making points all the time. He's got the more stereotypical German voice.
Do I?
No. Florian's got a very mellow.
Oh, me. Yeah,
a very laconic German accent.
Yeah. Maybe that's true. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What we'll do, we'll have Florian. We'll find some
Clary?
script from Klaus.
Clary, you're being racist.
Yes, I am. Yes, yes,
Not all Germans sound
great?
the same, Clary.
Yeah, they do.
Germans even have
They all
black
sound the
hair,
same.
you frickin' racist.
They all sound the same. They all look the same, and they all have funny mustaches. That's exactly that's all Germans ever.
You know, some Germans drink whiskey, not beer. They don't all play the harpsichord.
No, I play the cello actually.
Some of them actually have senses of humor.
What was the joke? My sister.
The joke is that the world. The joke goes like this: the shortest book in the world is 500 years of German humor.
No, it's a German joke. A man walks into a bar and he orders a beer, and it's very funny. That was the joke. You're rocking pretty minimalistic bachelor pad there, Florian. That's you got the setup I had out in Wyoming.
Maybe, yeah. It's a you don't really want to know where it is, although I gotta wear it with pride while I'm here. It's in Jersey City.
Wait, you're in the Jersey?
It's just that I have have my jobs right here in the vicinity. That's the only reason I'm still here. I'm in Jersey, yeah.
Okay, so what? But you moved here when? How old were you when you moved here?
I moved here in 2006, or end of 2005, and by then I just became 30, and I basically moved to Princeton first, and then I moved to New York with my girlfriend then, and that broke off. I missed the dog that we had. I terribly missed the dog, but never really her, which tells me afterwards it was the right decision. And then I'm here in Jersey City, and I have my work here in close by.
Wait, let me ask you something. If you're in Jersey City, why the hell are you dressed so well? You're sitting at home and you're dressed better than anybody else in the city.
Everyone's ripping on Jersey City. I mean, it's not Newark.
Oh God! Don't get me started on that airport.
Yeah, the airport. Although the airport is a little bit nicer than JFK, but yeah, it has its weaknesses. I don't know. I just like it. That's just I like being dressed a little bit better.
But also, I mean, I'm not joking about this though. I'm really impressed. You have your futon.
That's just a guest bed. My bedroom is like over there.
You're a rich bourgeoisie elitist then.
Huh? It's just it's there. If I have guests, I have somewhere where I can sleep. Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Jersey City, they're prettier cities in the U.S. I think. And on the long run, I do want to go to a different state, like maybe Texas or Arizona, not California, but
Nevada. You want to go to Nevada?
Nevada.
I recommend Indiana or Wisconsin. I do not recommend Illinois. I do recommend, however, living somewhere that is very close to Illinois, but not in it.
I live in Hobart.
What's Hobart?
Father Byrne.
That's where Bernard Chapin lives.
Oh, it's Byrne. Oh, Hobart. Yeah, Indiana. Indiana is a good state, except they have a kratom ban, and I wouldn't want to live in a state that has a kratom ban. So I would Wisconsin also kind of excluded for that reason. But there are multiple other states as well.
Lack of kratom leads to hipsterdom.
Maybe.
Well, you could live in Michigan then. Michigan is also another option. Michigan's also right by the section that you would be living in anyway. It's right by the South Shore line, so you can very conveniently go to Chicago whenever you want.
Oh, that's good.
You guys have got to get on the western side of the Mississippi, not to where RJ is. Then you went too far west. But I say, about 2,000 miles to the west, and then there's some nice states and some nice towns. But
That's you keep saying that, Clary, but when I actually lived out there, I wanted to kill everyone.
you were in Wyoming, and I understand, and that is the one exception to the rule. I say
I'd
an
add Wyoming
entire.
and I'd add North Dakota to that list as well, and Utah.
Well, you went to the wrong places in Utah. Then did you make it to Moab?
And Idaho. No, I have not made it to Moab.
Yeah, you gotta. No, you went to the wrong place. You gotta give those places, and it would also help if you're not hitchhiking. That might have a screwing effect.
Well, the
on
problem
your
is
places.
Well, the problem is I could be going there in a limo. The problem is there's still going to be Mormons around. I don't like cultists,
What
man.
Mormons? I didn't even read
Man,
it.
you upset Red Gull's Jeffrey with that post. He wrote a
like-
response to you. And,
Cultists tend to be upset when you attack their cult.
I've met Red Gull's Jeffrey. He's a good guy.
He's a Mormon, right? Then
He's a good guy despite that.
he's a good guy.
Good soldier, bad commander, or whatever.
Let's get Kyle in here. I see Kyle jumped in. How you doing, Kyle? You on mute or shit like Arena? There we go.
Man?
What's up? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. Are you Areni's friend that said jump down, or are you just a regular old fan?
Oh, I'm a fan of you and Areni's.
Sweet. Who are you more of a fan of? You could be honest. You could.
Well, I watch Aaron more, but I do like Areni's philosophies.
You got to
Thank
make him feel better about himself. He really does. So what's up? Where are you from, Kevin?
I'm from the liberal shithole of LA County.
Oh, okay.
My
You're all
sympathies. I'm doing a sign of the cross right now.
There's a lot of Earth warriors out there, believe it or not.
Earth warriors,
Yeah,
They
fellow
fight
Earth warriors.
or like Gaia, that stuff.
No, like everybody on this call is an Earth warrior. Because if we start calling one another Earth warriors, and the mainstream media wants to go on a rant about there's this evil misogynist white nationalist cult, and they call themselves the Earth warriors, it'll make them sound even more fucking ridiculous.
Hey, are you
So I
over in
call
LA
everybody
proper, Kyle, or no?
What's up?
Or what town you in?
It's like on the very east part of LA County.
What city?
Like,
You got me. All I know is like the southern tip. That's where the traffic starts, and then you're in Tijuana. So I don't really know much more geography than that.
what city are you in?
Remember the shootings?
Wait, I was just going for a smoke. What was that about Southern Tip?
What?
Eastern.
Go ahead, Kyle. We'll shut Arini up. He put his mute button on.
Do you remember the San Bernardino shootings?
Shootings.
Yeah, there was a
the Muslim guy. That one Muslim guy took a couple people out, but never happened. He was the public sector worker, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that guy.
So
All right.
ISIS terrorists.
Yeah, like more of that part.
Cool. You grew up out there?
Yeah, all my life.
All right. Well, geez, boy, you and Archie, you young guys, you got to get your education to get the hell out of there. That's what I'd recommend.
That's the plan. Finance. That's how I got into you, Aaron. Finance.
No, wait. Don't tell me you're studying finance.
Yep, that's
Oh.
yeah.
All right. How close are you to be graduated?
1.5 more years.
Switch to accounting, would that help? Is that possible?
I'm actually doing accounting homework right now. Yeah.
See, you can do it, right? See, there you go. Look, do you like
Not as
money?
fun.
No, do you like money?
Yep.
Do you like food? Okay. Do you like
Food?
not living under a bridge?
I was actually thinking about more like data analysis.
Okay, that'd be better. Yeah, that's better than accounting and finance. It's but gosh almighty, you could work for Wells Fargo and make a bunch of fake accounts. I think that's all that's really employed right now.
Wells Fargo is trash.
That they are. So, okay, and then let me get to White. White, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Davis, is this your friend?
Yeah, I'm a friend of Davis.
Okay, speak up, dude, or get closer to the microphone.
Sorry, I just got like a shitty microphone. Like, I'm kind of broke right now, so yeah.
It's coming in good now. You do have the floor. You can.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just a bit shy. Like,
Okay, no, that's fine. I didn't know if you wanted to get in on the show. So it's anyway, Davis, how do you know White?
I think he went for like a smoke or something.
God damn it, Davis and his goddamn cancer sticks. Oh, were you out there with him over in Tennessee or Vegas or wherever the hell you are?
No, I'm in Canada. Like, so.
Oh, you're from the home country.
Yeah.
Up in Calgary or no?
Eastern Canada. Like,
I
don't know if you've ever been
Newfoundland?
to Ontario area, like
Montreal.
Kingston. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard of Kingston.
Oh, Kingston. That's a lovely place.
Yeah.
Is that in the Horseshoe area or what?
It's kind of.
It's on the mouth of the St. Lawrence, near Watertown, New York.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's like a big military town. Like,
is it our military or what? You guys have a military town?
Well, there's a lot of military history there. I remember there was visiting there years ago. There was some kind of there's a military museum on the history of the Canadian Navy and such.
Because I'm not joking. What is?
Yep.
All right, cool. I was going to say, last I recall, what constitutes Davis answer? Well, if Davis gets back for a cigarette break, the one guy that could answer is Canadian Navy. They have like what, 6 main flagships, and that's it. Absolutely nothing for a Navy. So I'm thinking Davis would be able to answer. Unfortunately, hang on, let me look it up. Okay.
What do you mean, the 6 flagships, like ships in total, or like destroyers?
Like actual some destroyers, battleships, something like that. Hang on.
Well, the Canadian military is actually a unitary force. Like, they don't have a separate, or I don't know. I think Stephen Harper restored the designation of the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force, but a few decades ago, the Army, Air Force, and Navy up there were amalgamated into a single unit.
All right, well, it looks like they're back to the Royal Canadian Navy. 8,500 regular force, reserves 5,000. Wonder what the fleet is. Fleet. Warships. Operates 1 destroyer, 12 frigates, and 4 patrol submarines. Jesus Christ. It's worse.
Quite a fleet.
In half the sub.
I knew it was a joke. I knew it was bad, but it's even worse. 1 destroyer, 12.
Yeah, actually.
And 4. What the fuck? It's just basically. No wonder they can afford nationalized health care. They don't have a fucking military. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, and anyone feel correct me to the details. So when Canada entered World War I, the British wanted them to send sailors over to help man the Royal British ships, but they didn't want any ships. Like, they tell the Canadians, don't build any ships. We don't need ships. We need men.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, at the time, if I recall correctly, the Navy wasn't formed until midway through World War I.
All right, here, check this out. On September 19th, 2014, this is why I thought there were 6. The Navy announced the decommissioning of its 2 resupply ships, the HMCS Protector and the HCMS Preserver, along with 2 destroyers, the Algonquin and the Iroquois. This leaves the Navy with a single destroyer, HMCS Athabascan, which has been plagued with engine problems, suffering multiple failures while transiting the Atlantic Ocean, first in February 2015 and again in October. Holy cow.
That was it for the engines, right? The engine, that was it. One time across the Atlantic and back. That's it.
I mean, I've heard, I don't know if you guys ever listened to Stuff You Missed in History podcast. I've heard of cargo vessels in the 1920s that went through, that could do better than that. And these were ones that were haunted or inevitably, cursed, and they decided to scull it because it kept breaking down. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that bad. I don't even want to know about it. You know what? At one time, Davis accounted for a whole third of the Canadian Army, I bet.
Yeah, well, I should
Davis,
not.
you back?
German Navy is also not very extensive. I think we do have one destroyer. Maybe we'll only have one.
Well, yeah. But aren't you guys under some kind of still World War II requirements, or did we lift those? I mean, because we basically told you in Japan you can't build anything.
Yeah, but they lifted since 20 years. But I mean, that doesn't mean if you lift the ban doesn't mean all of a sudden now the military gets chock full with money and they start building all kind of troops. It's just done. The German military. They went from an army where everyone had to serve. We had the draft where everyone had to serve in the army, and now it's voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, it's just
no one's volunteering.
No, not many people are volunteering, but even so, the people that are volunteering, I think they're competing for fewer places. So it really is a professional army now.
Well, we got to thank Reagan for that. He did kind of face down the Russians, except when it comes to Ukraine. Then, oh shit. But all right, well, listen, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I didn't expect it to run this long. I did want to thank everybody for calling in and helping me master this, especially you, Davis. Thank you very much for coming in.
Glad to be here.
Yep, and then we'll have the Zero Fucks Given Hour more regularly.
Good.
I want to go look at the chat room now that you showed it to me. It's all, oh, fuck you, poop stain. Suck my turd, dick fucker. It's like, okay.
It's why you just need to ban the one or two idiots that come in.
Mike Regan says, do a Clary test. Well, on who, Mike? Let's see if he tests. This will be the first real question I answered. Oh. And he did. All right, we're going to clear it up here. So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Best luck to all of you. Toodles.
Thanks for joining you.
Loving us.